If everybody please rise and we'll have the prayer pledge. May the God known to each of us provide the strength and wisdom to perform the duties and fulfill the responsibilities required by our oaths of office. May our actions be pleasing to God and meet the expectations of the citizens we serve. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead and call our meeting to order. Ask the we're going to do a silent roll call. And we'll go right into our agenda. The approval of the July 18th regular meeting minutes is before you, council members. What is your pleasure?
Motion to approve is written. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes from July 18th. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And the next item is to approve tonight's agenda for August 3rd.
So, I'll second.
Motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next item is public comment. Larry Brumfield, 723 B Merritt Street. You have the floor, sir.
Okay. I'd like to thank our new recorder, Rachel Patton, for giving a complete and thorough description of the last city council meeting and the July 18th city council minutes she published. I've never seen anything as accurate and all-inclusive as this in my 7+ years of attending Barboursville City Council meetings. And to show my appreciation, I'd like to present Rachel with this bouquet of red roses with my wish that she continues to do a great job, such as this one, for the next 4 years. In my opinion, it's all about completeness, accuracy, and transparency. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank
There you are.
Thank you very much.
Paula never got roses.
I wasn't as accurate.
We don't have anyone else signed in to speak tonight. We do not have old business, but there are a couple of things before us for new business. Council members, you have a consideration of an ordinance amending Article 733 of the Business Occupation Tax, Section 733.05, concerning business of selling tangible property, certain sales tax exempt, reducing and exempting the rate on the business sale of tangible property at retail for new vehicle sales of the codified ordinances of the Village of Barboursville on first reading. So there is no discussion on the first reading. I entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second on the floor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The second item is consideration of an ordinance to approve the current replacement pages of the codified ordinance on first reading. This is your updates to your code book, is what would be updated. And that is a first reading as well, so I entertain a motion to approve the ordinance updating the code books.
Make motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second on the floor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next item is the consideration, approval of a resolution for our annual invoice for recycling, the recycling program at Depot Street. There's about a 3% increase in the cost of the recycling program, but again, this is a service we're able to provide to our residents at no cost. They receive a free PFOB. I mean, we're paying the bill for the recycling program, but this is what we'll be paying for the upcoming contract. And it's the amount of $13,560.48.
Make motion.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the invoice contract for recycling services.
Says annual contract.
That's an annual cost, and that increase this year is about 3%.
That was my question. All right.
Yep. We have a motion and a second to approve the invoice in the amount of $13,560.48. Any further discussion?
Have the foremen been keeping up lately? It doesn't seem to be a mess.
They're doing a much better job of maintaining Rumpke is the contracted service through the solid waste authority that we have a contract with, so we haven't had as many problems lately. Plus, our guys do a pretty good job keeping an eye on it now too, but they have bolstered their, drivers to keep an eye on the overflow, if you will.
Not moving.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. It was a short agenda this evening. We're at the end of our regular agenda, but I do have a couple of things before I turn it over to council. First thing is, in 2 years, we've applied for federal earmark from the Senate Appropriations Committee, House Appropriations Committee. The first year we received and asked for $5 million towards our sewer project. I received notification last week late that the second request in the amount of $5 million is also going to the president's desk for approval, and it is very likely that will not be amended out of the budget. So over a 2-year time period, we'll receive our second allocation from the federal government in the history of the town, and that actually, what we talked about concerning our sewer project will allow us to stay out of our pockets of our residents with concerning rates. It'll allow the sanitary board to not have to look at rates so quickly. As a reminder, we also have a request in the governor's office. There is infrastructure and ARPA money in the state government, so we've requested money there. We have not received word yet, but as you know, we also received that $750,000 allocation from the county. So if we receive the request from the state and that's approved, we'll pretty well be over halfway paid for a project that we pretty well fully anticipated taking loans and financing out for. So it's pretty exciting for the village to receive $10 million over the course of 2 years. So that's the first thing. The second thing is paving is complete around town. I think everything's done, right?
All but one street.
All but one street.
Orchard Drive.
Orchard Drive.
They'll have to come back later because we're holding them up.
Okay. Anyway, feedback's been good from residents in those areas, and I think for the most part, I think our streets are in pretty daggone good shape. So it's testament to the Public Works Department too for taking care of things when we're not doing paving in terms of patching and whatnot. So the other thing, Vintage Rose opened this week. Their ribbon cutting yesterday. So welcome them to town. And then I will say this, I did get a chance to talk with Mayor Turman's family and just have them in your thoughts. Mayor Turman passed away early this morning. Services I think I sent out, but those should be in the newspaper tomorrow. So our thoughts are certainly with the Turman family this evening. He was a great mentor to a lot of people, and he loved the village for sure. So we're sad to hear about his passing. That's all I have. Rachel.
Thank you all for coming this evening, and Larry, thank you again.
Oh, and I just wanted to say, I have, went to both boutiques. Patrick, that lady is fantastic. I'm really impressed. I'm impressed more with her because she has a variety of things. The other is just kind of clothes and tippity clothes that I don't get into, but this one is really nice. And plus I worked with her at HIMG, so I was really impressed. So both stores are very nice. The water problem that we had up in town, the water leak, of course, I know it's been taken care of. I thought maybe the fire department was having a flippin', whatever out there. But evidently it was taken care of. I talked to Melanie yesterday and she was very pleased on how fast the fire department got it and the water company came in. So, I'm glad that wasn't on us, I'm glad it was on them. So, that's all I have.
A little menial thing, I was at the splash park probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. There's a building there, it looks like it's got black mold on it, black mold. I didn't know if it'd take much to pressure wash it off or whatever, but it's about 2 or 3 feet up the wall. It's just where the sun, the way it sets, and that black mold up that building, those little kids, it did, wouldn't take much to do it.
Gotcha.
Thought I'd mention it.
Yeah.
I'd like to, with me being new, these electric vehicle charging stations, has that ever been brought up to the city council or the city to have charging stations in our city?
There's one at the library, and
Okay.
Sheets had talked about putting some in, I
Yeah.
don't know what their feasibility study said, but there is one straight across the parking lot here, and I'm not sure what the long-term plan for Sheets is, but they are going to remodel and redo their entire property at the mall.
Because I know in my company, we see so many more, and I've been checking into it, and I said, well, it'd be something to bring up to the city, because sometimes people eat dinner or whatever. And of course, we know I read a lot of articles on homeowners, apartment owners, the guy looking for a place to live, he's not gonna rent that apartment, because he has an electric car, he has no place to charge it.
Right.
But I thought about that, but it's, okay.
I wonder if we could look into a grant maybe for the park or something for, make that a destination, provide a station at the park or something.
There was a booth a couple of times at Municipal League, I don't think they were there Rachel and I and John were at Municipal League this week, I don't think I saw them there this time, but they had been present in our conferences before, we'll look back into that.
Cause I know the electric cars, they're coming, we're just a little bit behind, maybe in our area, that I see and read so much about different areas, police cars, a lot of electric vehicles, police,
Well,
first
the one at the
responders.
library
Yeah, there's
is
one
free
straight
of
across the
charge
parking lot,
right
yeah.
now, but with the problems with the library and their funding, they're probably gonna start charging.
About a year ago, the highway department called me and wanted to know if we had some property that we could provide for that. And what they were looking for was just like an area to park 2 cars at the same time, and we didn't have anything.
I think that program fizzled from the state too.
Well, I think
know
there's
if they
federal money now for
Oh.
those.
And they're getting
Look
so
back into
advanced on that, it's like, you pull up to a station, you can use your credit card, and you put the credit card, and they'll charge you for the electric that you do
Yeah.
use for that vehicle,
That's neat.
yeah.
You'd think that they would look at the parking ride as well as another potential spot.
So anyway,
I just wanna acknowledge the park employees, they're always willing to do stuff, especially last minute. Football needed the field mowed, and they did it the day of it, asked, and just Rick and the guys just wanna, if you care to reach out and tell them they're appreciated. Just always willing to do something
Sure
if they
will.
can, so they got away. And talking about paving, I think we are very fortunate to be fiscally responsible, and it's nice to turn around the corner and be right on fresh black pavement. You're thinking, wow, you don't run into that in all these cities you go to,
You
and
don't.
usually turn the corner and hit a bunch of potholes compared to around here, so, it's a welcome sight. I'm glad we can do that. And then just echoing your words on, Mayor Turman, just family in the prayers, and he served this city for a great deal.
Yeah, for sure. He was on council, and I think he was mayor for 14 years. So he was on council prior to that. Yeah, he was somebody who loved the village for sure.
Yeah, well, my thoughts are with the Thurman family as well. I mean, he was our longest serving mayor in history, I guess. But yeah, I wanted to mention that, and also, wanted to mention about the paving. I mean, it's nice that a lot of times our streets paved when other towns, municipalities may say, oh, that's good for another 5 years or whatever, So it's nice to do that, and we don't, like you said, we don't see the potholes and that kind of stuff. When I was a paper boy, when I was a kid, I found those potholes in the early morning hours sometimes, and you had to learn quick where they were. So times have certainly changed, and it's nice to live in a town that we can do that. And I had something else, and it just went away.
So having you get old on.
Yeah, I would like to mention, so this is something else, you talk about the need of the building up there. I thought that tower that's out there for I'd still like to see some kind of marker on it, saying what it was, that it was a guard tower for the old State Farm Park, and I was out there speaking to some scouts about a month ago, and I asked them what they thought that was. Well, nobody knew. They had a few wild guesses and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I like to see, I guess for historical reference and that kind of stuff, and that would be nice to do. And I don't remember what the other thing was, and Thank you, Rick.
Give it Anyone
Oh,
give it?
oh.
It's
It's right there in front, it's right in front of me. I have a letter. I do have a letter. I know most of the time it goes to the city hall, but, for some reason it came to me and unfortunately it's not listed to the chief of police who actually, took a lot of lead on this, but this is from a resident on McClung Avenue, and if I could introduce him to read it, I could read it. It says, thank you for listening and following through. The safety issues on McClung Avenue have been met. The swiftness speaks volumes for the safety and concerns from our elected officials, the mayor, council, and recorder. And like I said, it should certainly add Chief McNeil on that. And it says it also adds public works. So congratulations. And says safety is one of the many reasons the village of Barboursville is a destination for people visiting, and we are fortunate that we are residents. So it regards the citizens and visitors of the village of Barboursville, the Pullen family, and the residents of McClung Avenue, and Matt.
And Matt.
So,
Very nice.
So, yeah, it was very nice, and if you don't know, I mean, if we changed that one side street that, the apartment, dwellers were parking along the street. They have a 30 spot parking lot in the back of their building, but they were parking along the street, and it was cars, or rather trucks that were trying to come out Peyton Street were getting pinched and indeed had to, in a couple instances, back up and try to go a different direction. But that's all been resolved, and I wanted to thank the city and everything for making some happy residents.
For sure. Thank
That's
you.
all I got. Thank you.
Well, just as a heads up, we'll plan a work session before the next meeting as well. Half hour should probably do it. Just a couple of topics of interest that have been in the news, and a couple other things coming up project-wise that I thought we could get together and talk about. But I'll get you time out for that as well. But I think a half hour beforehand will do it. So we'll plan a work session before the next meeting.
I'd like to say one more thing.
Sure.
According to what Donnie was talking about, the building out the park, I would like to see our historical trail, you know, the tour that we have, maybe a little plaque in front of each of the businesses that were on the historical site. Because I had a couple people ask me if we did the tour, and I noticed the library just did one
There's a
recently.
young lady who's redoing it from
Yeah.
UK.
So if-
She's from Barboursville, but she's
Right.
a UK student.
Correct,
Yeah.
but if we could just have a plaque out front of their house or whatever, so when they walk by, they have a little history of what happened and what it was for. So I thought that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I think she's working on something that includes the QR code.
Uh-huh,
So she.
well, a lot of people don't do the QR
Yeah,
code.
yeah.
You know, elderly people.
I think at one time we had brochures for the old
We
walking
did,
trip,
yes.
the old walking tour.
Yes,
So
so I thought that might be something unique we could work on.
yeah, I'll get in touch with her too.
Okay.
Anything else from the council? Robert, you guys good? We'll adjourn the meeting. Thanks everybody for coming.